Saul Canelo
Saul Canelo Alvarez, the young red-headed boy from Guadalajara, Jalisco, who grew up to be a pound-for-pound star in boxing, is now the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world of this era. His orthodox slick style has been very effective throughout his career, and proving throughout every fight always has something different to show. Now, before we go to the breakdown of Saul Canelo Alvarez, let's go through a brief introduction on how Canelo got to the status in boxing that he is at right now. Saul Alvarez was born on the outskirts of Guadalajara, but at the age of 5, his family moved to a small town called Juanacatlan, Jalisco. He would start the family tradition of selling popsicles and ice cream as a kid. He would then get motivation to box from his older brother, Rigoberto Alvarez. After that, he would go on to have 50+ amateur fights. He would then go turn pro at only 15 years old. He would make his debut in the United States at 19 years old, defeating Jose Miguel Cotto. Canelo would win his first world title by defeating Matthew Hatton. And after that, the rest is history. Now, in this breakdown, I'll show how effective Saul Canelo Alvarez game can be. So without further ado, let's get to the boxing breakdown of Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo uses basic footwork, nothing too flashy, just solid footwork, making sure he masters the basics. Since he has a simple footwork style, this could give him many advantages like stepping back and throwing the uppercut while putting a lot of weight into it. He can also cut off the ring very easily. As we've seen, Canelo has amazing head movement. But how is he able to do all that? Well, it all starts with the basic footwork, allowing him to move more controlled and faster, and also not complicating it. He also likes to keep an active guard at all times. Canelo trains a lot of reflex drills on the bag and mitt work, so it will obviously come natural and an instinct to Canelo once it's time to fight. A perfect example of this is when Canelo fought Danny Jacobs, where you can see Canelo practicing the head movement on the heavy bag and using that same movement in the fight. This technique is frequently used by Canelo. He will lower his hand while the opponent will throw. That's when Canelo uses his slips. This also has its benefits since he will always has his weight on the back foot. This could be very effective when slipping and countering with the right hand. Rolling is also very effective with Canelo game plan. Rolling is a U movement. When an opponent throws hooks, Canelo makes sure to always stay under the line of fire, always evading the hooks at all times. This is also used a lot by Canelo, leaning back. If the opponent were to throw a hook or uppercut, Canelo would lean back, giving him space if he wants to counter. The stepping back is used if the opponent is coming forward throwing punches. He will use this as a way to escape. When he puts all his defense together, it's definitely a masterpiece. High-level defense is always entertaining to watch. As we know, Canelo loves to work the body throughout the whole fight. All the body work starts from footwork. Canelo's long stance gives him an advantage on stepping in with body shots from range. When Canelo throws shots to the body, he usually sets it up with punches to the head. But it also works the other way, by going to the body and finishing to the head. Canelo's most used head-to-body technique is the uppercut and liver shot. And also, he can add the left hook and liver shot. It just all depends on him and what the opponent is doing. Canelo is a master at counterpunching. He uses that in every fight, using feints and angles to open up the head and body. When we talk about counterpunching, we really are putting everything we just went through, starting from footwork, defense, offense, etc. Slipping the jab and countering. Canelo will use the opponent's jab as an advantage. While the opponent throws, he leaves his face wide open for that counter. Also, leaning back and using the uppercut is what Canelo does. He will lean back, giving him space and then throwing the uppercut. Also using slips and leaning back to throw other combos. Not all the combos are to the head, but some are to the body. Now that we've gone through the other stuff, let's look how he uses all that in them setups. Canelo will throw liver shots by stepping in. This setup's a left hook and uppercut when his opponent thinks Canelo will throw the same combination, but Canelo changes it. When his opponents are going to the ropes, Canelo will throw 2 or 3 jabs and then finish by throwing a body shot. This will set up to throw later in the fight 2 or 3 jabs, and instead of going to the body, he will throw overhand. This wears down his opponent little by little. The fight was Amir Khan. You can see how Canelo was setting up his knockout shot the whole fight. He would jab to the head and throw a shot to the body. After all this, he would then jab to the body and go for the knockout shot. Same thing with James Kirkland, throwing the jab to the body and knocking out his opponent with the right hand. But the special thing about these knockout shots is the way Canelo rolls after throwing, making sure he doesn't get countered. Any other breakdown you want me to do, leave them in the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video, but that's it for the boxing breakdown of Saul Canelo Alvarez.